Okay, so we'll look at the roadmap. I was here already yesterday when it came out, and I wanted to go over it then, but this is my voice sounding a lot better than yesterday. And that's already sounding a lot better than Sunday, and that's actually even better than it was Saturday evening. So, this is already like 3 days worth of progress. With all that being said, if you can't understand me exactly, I do apologize. I'm doing my best without really straining myself. But yeah, this is as good as it gets right now. Hopefully tomorrow it'll be even better. So basically, yeah, we were waiting for this one for a while. I was hoping that this one would come out. I knew it would come out yesterday because, I've got my intel. But yeah, I was hoping we would have gotten this actually before the current update that we have, before all the Night Troop stuff. But I guess they wanted to keep the Night Troop a surprise. I guess, or they were just late with this. I do know for a fact though that they had a lot of work going into MapleFest. Yeah, I don't know if you can count the hours on the overtime and all that stuff. So everyone was undoubtedly super duper busy with setting all of that up. So yeah, lots of coughing. Get used to that too. But so, what is their intro here? We're just a roadmap being posted later than normal. Okay, with MapleStory Fest in October, we wanted to focus on that. Okay, I need to really stop just saying those things and just read, because every single time I do that, I just have to read like a minute later exactly what they just said. I do this with like Max's Orangemushroom posts all the time as well. I'm like, oh yeah, this and this and this, and then I read and it's like, oh, exactly what I just said. Nice. Okay, 246 and 247. Please be mindful that it will list the notable updates, but not everything that will be included in each patch. We recommend waiting for the prospective updates, update preview post, or patch note post for details. Yeah, so usually what I tend to do is for the update preview, I'll look at the slightly more detailed updates that we already have from Korea. Sometimes from MapleC, and sometimes even from TMS and CMS, but that's harder to get my hands on. Plus, I have no idea what's going on there, right? And relying on Google Translate is not my favorite thing. But usually that's what I do during the update preview, to try to give like the full context, to get it as close to actual patch notes as possible. And then when the full patch notes come out, I just try to compare what we already did during what I just described and the actual patch notes, and then see if there's anything that is wildly... Well, if you had any original questions still open, right? If we get those answered, or if there's anything just wildly different from what we saw in the other regions. And I think that's also important to highlight, because KMS news is going to be out there whether I address it again or not, through various sources. So it's always good to see like, okay, this is what KMS had, but this is what we're getting. By not trying to load it as much as like, we are getting nerfed or we are getting buffed, but it's just different regions get different things, right? So yes. Nothing super finalized, and they don't go too much into detail typically, because they want to keep things subject to, some change before it actually comes out. So, early October update, which you probably know a lot about because we are actually in that. Which is Night Troop, Halloween, Spooky Halloween, Magic Slay, Permanent Secondary Permanent Slot, Cache Inventory Transfer Event. We already knew all of that. We went over those patch notes and we did the whole yada yada. 246 mid-November. We already knew that date as well, right? November 15th, November 14th being the last day for a lot of the events, including the hyper burn that's going on right now. And mid-November, the 15th being the first day, or at least a patch day for the big 6-job update. That is also what we expected. So it's going to be 6-job, and as we saw during MapleFest, it's going to have item disc exploration. It's going to have hyper burning and burning world again. It's going to have better maple improvements, which is a nice catch-all for a whole bunch of stuff. Sorry. And Reboot World adjustments, which a bunch of us probably already know what that is. And then we have 247 update, which is going to be mid-December, which is, I think, also what I projected. This is usually more the start of the winter update. So the winter update is starting a lot earlier, and is already going to have its second... it's chapter 2 in mid-December, instead of starting more around like mid to end December and then having that update be late January, you know? So that is moving things forward a little bit, which is kind of contrary to what they had been doing. It seemed like they wanted to decrease the time between summer and winter events so that they could basically have like high season longer because there was like less downtime for people to be like, oh, I can't play right now because I'm doing these other things. And it's like, no, just keep playing all year round, you know? So they're moving that around a little bit, which is interesting. With Abyssal Expedition, Battleship Arteria, Carcion. Not sure what Abyssal Expedition is. We'll read that. We already know these new areas from Korea, right? Kaling, Kalos, Guardian, Boss difficulties. So, talking about the easy difficulties. Having also drops that allow you to work on Eternal Gear. And then also very high level difficulties, which for us at this point seem completely impossible. But, of course, that gives us some time to work on 6th job and get used to all of that damage, power creep and damage increase. And it should allow us to make these things that seem completely impossible now to actually maybe have a shot at it. At least with, the super strong people in the server, right? Not myself, or probably not most people in the chat, but a few of the people in the chat, and like a few dozen people definitely in like the bigger guilds and stuff like that. MapleStory. So that's for the home stuff, decorations, house, all of that stuff. And then MapleStory, Rudy and the Giant Tree. So probably just look at last year's KMS, right? MapleStory, or Christmas, I should say. Once a year, and then usually we just get the rehashed of last year for Korea. So here is a bit more pretty and visualized. They go for a different visualization every year, but I think I like this more because it's like all on one page. You don't have to scroll a whole bunch. And some of these, it's like, oh, we don't have a graphic. Just make something, dude. Just draw some ghosts. I got you. I like that. Abyssal Expedition. What is that? I don't remember this one, but we'll get through. Delayed because of the BT news and the roadmap. RPBT. It's interesting how many people were like, oh, there was no big announcement. And then also, RPBT is like, saying, okay. Huh. Interesting. Is the road saying we are juicing in 2023? We're starting our juicing, yeah. But we will mainly be really juicing in 2024. Man, I'm gonna have to calm down. I don't know why I start with like something I have to read for an hour to just immediately destroy my voice, I guess. But I want to make sure I could get through this while I still had something of a voice. So I do apologize if it gets raspier as we go. So, Night Troop, we know all about that. I don't really have to read that, right? Spiegelman or Kieran. Obviously, you pick Kieran if you want to lose. Halloween home decorations, spooky Halloween with the lantern thing, the ghost costume with the bonus mission, all that stuff. Magic Slate, we don't have this one yet. That's going to be when this event is over. Of course, the event calendar, which I have to update, of course, is still out there and still has all the information on what is going on when. It is now October 17th, so as you see, it is the last day of this week right here, which means Punch King, World's Best Punch King reward distribution is going to start tomorrow. Nice. And the 19th we have maintenance, unfortunately, but you can see all the events going on right here. You can see Magic Slate here starting when all of the Night Troop stuff and all the Halloween stuff ends. Basically as a minor transition event between the Night Troop and all of the 6 job stuff. That's where you get to pick your buffs. You get to pick them for a different duration based on how many candies or sweet snacks as they call them. Maybe candy's a no-no word now, that you collected. Then, secondary pen slot. Yeah, we've known that for a while as well. I'm just happy that I hope that we're done for a while with these things where it's like, oh, we're going to make this permanent in a bit, so we're just going to disable it now so that you can be without it for like 3 weeks to 4 weeks. I don't understand those decisions. I just, whenever someone gives them an opportunity to do something like that, it seems like they take it. So I just hope that we stop giving them those opportunities. So that, yeah, because it's so wildly inconvenient. Like, either fix it now and then disable it immediately. Like, people won't care that for like 2 or 3 weeks there might be some overlap between the ones you buy and the ones you extend. People care about that way less than the people care about being out even for like 3 days, not having access to it at all. That is always worse. So just do it that way, please, if you're ever going to have something. Cache inventory transfer event. That's the transfer event that should also be on the list here. Where is it? Here you go. That's November 8th, 14th. Although this time, the one thing that is different with a cache up transfer event, I do want to highlight that, is that it is not going to go all the way up until the start of the maintenance on the 15th. That's what usually happens, that you can like all the way until the maintenance, you can switch stuff around. This only will go until the end of the 14th, so it will actually stop before reset. I don't know if this is an exception or if that's what they're going to start doing from now on, but do make sure that it works differently than all the previous times. But then the big one, of course, 246 is 6th job. With the introduction, it's almost here. So remember what they did in Korea. Oh. Nope. What they did in Korea was, or what they do most times, again, I don't know for here, but is something like 6th job usually isn't released right on the start of the update, right? Because they want as many people as possible to be able to enjoy it when it comes out. And since the hyperburn is up to 260, and people only got up to 250 probably before with the previous hyperburn, most likely the 6th job is going to open like... although they did say here, mid-December is 247. So even if it doesn't open up immediately, it's going to open up like between these 4 weeks, right? So at most it's going to be 2 weeks after, I think, to get everyone back, get everyone working towards 260, and then throw in 6th job. Or maybe they do it immediately, like, I don't know. But usually they delay just by a little bit to give people some time to catch up and get into the full swing of things first. So unlock even greater power to control transcendent energy as you take your characters to the next tier. It's been 7 years since 5th job awakening, which is wild. And people were talking like, oh, it's been so long. It was like, no, it hasn't. And then you start counting and like, oh my god, it has. It has actually been 7 years. That's wild. If you think about really big games, like how long does it take until they have like really big reworks and really big updates? I mean, in general, in people's real lives as well, if you ask people, like every 5 to 7 years, people usually like they either move or they get a new position or they get a big promotion, or, you know, every 5 to 7 years, people tend to have like big shifts in what they do in life as well. So it was well overdue. That was probably something that was sped up by the stuff that happened 2 years ago, to make sure that, you know, the 7-year shift wasn't people leaving the game, but it was even more people playing it. Oh, this is going to sound great on YouTube audio, huh? So yeah. Preparing for months along the journey towards the 6th star. Remember, which is something that KMS never got, but we did get. That's a huge buff that we have. Huge amount of free stuff. Next stage is only weeks away. Benefit from this amazing force as you begin a powerful growth experience and acquire new abilities. Character level 260 will be primed to make the advancement and grow even stronger. Get ready to tap into your true potential. Tap, get it? Oh, bro. Excuse me. Hexa Matrix 6th job means a new skill matrix. You've probably already seen a bunch of pictures about it. Hexa Matrix is, I think, something that will intuitively, visually make more sense to most people seeing it versus the V Matrix, where it's just like one blob of stuff where you put everything. It has more divisions and like different colors for different types of nodes. So right from the bat, I think that part will make more sense. The big difference, though, for Reboot is going to be the fact that you have to, at least for now, in the beginning, you have to build Soul Urda to get basically the points and the resources to build your skills. So kind of like the Node Stones. But Node Stones are transferable, and you can have one character and transfer to another and everything like that. But the Soul Urda stuff, I'm pretty sure from everything I've seen, is character related, and there's no like transfer there whatsoever. So it's going to be a lot of grinding on characters to get those resources. because some of it you get through bossing, but some of it you can only get through killing monsters. But like multi-charactering this is going to be a lot slower to do than it was ever before with nodes, because you could like get a few nodes, get started. But yeah, if a lot of you only started playing like, you know, in the last 6 months to a year, you'll take for granted that when you start 5th job, oh, you start with like 6 slots in your matrix, you get like all 4 skills. When 5th job first came out, you had 2 or 3 slots, I think 3, and you only have 1 5th job skill. That was it. And then everything else then was nodes. Now nodes then were more common, but they also could give the boost nodes of any character in the game, even 0 that wasn't even in reboot at the time. So what ended up happening was a lot of people, you just had to axe everything and craft it all from the shards, which even though you had more nodes, they were way less valuable individually. So excuse me, same thing is going to happen here, where the system is going to, hopefully every single system starts off better, right, and learns from the mistakes of the previous one. But the amount of effort you have to put in right when it is released is going to be the highest that it's ever going to be. And then it's going to get faster and faster and speed up more and more as you go. And with every 6 months big update, it's probably going to get a lot more achievable, because they want more people to get it, and because at that point the people who are very good at it, very fast, who are working very hard, they will have already or gotten very far at it, is what I mean. So they won't really mind as much, because they'll be working on other stuff. They'll be trying to do like Chaos Kaling and like extreme Kalos and that kind of stuff, you know. So they don't they won't worry about it too much anymore. And then they can get everyone else into the point where they get more 6 job damage, so they can more easily like solo Chaos Tenebris and start like small party Black Mage will get easier, or earlier level Black Mage will get easier, that kind of stuff. So Hexa nodes can also get you extra stats. There's a lot more details that are coming on that, but basically it's almost kind of like a mini Legion stat bonus, kind of like that as well. Yeah, so hunt monsters and including normal monsters and boss monsters. Use them to power your Hexa matrix. Of course, you know, big patches coming. We already looked at a lot of stuff in KMS. I'm not going to go super deep into it now, but for a lot of people, this is going to mean a lot of extra damage. Basically, that was going to be my line during the MapleStory panel. But basically, like, some characters just get a big nuke, and then they just, you know, chip off like entire HP bars off of like Chaos Tenebris bosses. And some characters will more get like an empowerment, and then in some of the 6 job videos that you saw, probably it doesn't look as impressive, but if you look up more like KMS videos and stuff, and you look at the DPM, you look at the BAs, you can see a huge difference in damage output. And for most classes, once you start like maxing out your 6 job, here's what the things differ the most, right? Because like the 6 job skills for most classes add around the same amount of damage. It's pretty similar, and like if you look at it in total in a whole BA, in a 6-minute BA, right? Because there's 6-minute cooldown skills. Where the big differences are going to be with the 6 job is the empowerments to the 5th job and to the 4th job stuff. Sorry, actually, not so much the 5th job, because that's more like just a percentage damage increase, like the boost nodes were for in the V matrix for 4th job. So that's also going to be pretty similar for most classes, for most. But the big differences are going to be the changes to the existing 4th job skills, where they're not doing just like 20% final damage or something. They're adding, or 120, but they're adding like extra effects. So you could get bigger hitboxes, you could get different types of activation things. And this is why you see certain classes really just become more of a new class rather than just being a 5th job with an extra skill. And that is not something where you need to be like, oh, this class sucks now, this class is amazing now. It'll feel like that a little bit. But just remember, like, Demon Avenger didn't really have a 5th job for 5 years as well, okay, before we got one. So some classes are going to be have to a little bit more patient, where it's like, oh yeah, you got a big nuke, but you have to wait maybe another 6 months, maybe another year until your character kit like rounds out again and you become like a full 6 job character. That is going to take some time. So for some classes, it's going to take some patience. If you're a Beast Tamer, it's going to even take a while to even see what your 6 job is going to be. But just know that is coming, but that's going to be a long process. Seoul. Ne. That's true. Seoul Urda. I sang han nara wa gi. Whatever that means. Thank you, Nitai. Good like me. Oh no, I don't think so. I don't know. I've never really had, during the whole time with COVID and everything, I never really had a cold that was really different from, or I say a cold, but usually it starts like a cold and then kind of becomes more like flu-like, and then I usually have like 3 days of actually having like, oh, this is like full-on flu. I've never had anything that was like outside of that. Now it's lasting a little bit longer because I thought that it was coming up and then it was gone, but then it came back when I was traveling there and it's like, oh no, I thought it was over, you know. It's probably because the week before MapleFest I went to a family reunion because, you know, I hadn't seen anyone in so long, but there were like almost 60 people there. So I mean, it's almost more likely to catch something than not catch something if there's 60 people like in a house together for a weekend, right? So yeah. Booty booty boo. Where were we? So many tangents. Everyone on YouTube video is like, I didn't pay for this. That's true. You didn't pay for anything. It's free content, baby. Oh, by the way, through Kobe, I found out that Max said that Max is actually a fan of my content. I was like, no way, I'm a fan of his content. I love his orange mushroom patches. Kobe's like, yeah, it's my friend likes your stuff. Friend Max. I'm like, wait, you're not talking about fucking Orange Mushroom Max, right? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, no way. So that was cool. Yeah, we'll talk about MapleFest after. I just want to make sure I can get through this while I still have a bit of a voice. I don't know how good it's going to stay, and I do want to get this out quickly for YouTube and everything, you know, before Steve gets all the views. Well, he already did, but yeah. Cool. Where are we at? Oh yeah, so Beast Tamer 6. Oh yeah, so we're about to read what I just said. Skills are still under development and cannot be introduced in the version 246 update. Now I do wonder why Beast Tamers is here, like outside of where Hayato's and Kana's are, because aren't they all three all in the same regions? It does make sense that it would take a little bit longer, lower priority, because it's only those two regions that have them. Maybe this is a good moment to look at the skills, actually. Do we have like an official upload? That is not like a cam from during MapleFest. I was standing right next to the dude that was filming this. I don't know if they've... Because they look so good, by the way. BT's from CMS, not JMS? Wait, I thought JMS also had BT. Oh, am I wrong on that? See, dude, I never fucking know. Oh, GMS doesn't have BT? Oh. But even though CMS is like percentage-wise not as big, but aren't there way more... Because there's so many people in Chinese, isn't CMS still actually pretty big? My stream was the best quality of the event. Yeah, Justin was walking around with that. I think during the skills, he had like almost 3,000 viewers or something. Why am I getting an Ericlo 6 job tier list? Oh, and then Matt's has the same video right below it. They got updates slower. They're behind us. Oh. So maybe they want to wait as long as possible to show it, so that CMS doesn't see like the the BT skill like a year before they get it. Because that is definitely one thing. If you have regions that are on a different schedule, if you have regions that are on a different schedule, you don't want to give them access to information that is going to come super far away too early, because then all you get is people basically like complaining that they don't have it yet. Like the hype can die down and become actually frustration with why isn't it here yet. I guess this is, I don't know if this was from Matt's stream, but these two skills look really fucking good.
Yo, that is sick.
And then here, I thought it's over, and then the fucking laser comes out, just like nukes it.
That is cool. Oh, he cooked the moon.
He cooked it. Was that sounded like that could have been Justin, right? Was that Justin? I think it was. I stream on Facebook on TikTok. Most likely to get non-endemic viewership and players. For any company, the amount of people that know about your game is almost more important than the amount of people that are actively at one point playing your game. A lot of games, especially MapleStory. MapleStory probably more than any other game is very cyclical in terms of player base, in terms of people coming back and checking out the game. They already know that people who have played Maple in the past, at some point or another, will get in touch with content and will know about Six Job. But if you go to a platform where you haven't been before and you try to reach out to non-endemic viewers, so to people who aren't already aware of what MapleStory is, even if you get like a lower percentage conversion of like people checking it out, that amount of people checking it out is way more chance of having never had it before, which just makes every single person you get to there more valuable, essentially, right? If someone like buys a product, like you buy Coca-Cola like once every, if there's a country and you know that people buy Coca-Cola like once a week and you advertise there, maybe now they buy it like 1.1 times a week on average or something. But it's gonna, yeah, that's like the efficiency of your advertisement campaign is like 10%. But if you go to a country that just hasn't never heard of the product before, you can advertise to a whole new country of people, you can suddenly make a whole lot of conversion, right? And that's basically what it, I assume that's what it was. We scrapped the last stream. Oh, I don't know much about details about like the whole streaming stuff, because I was just literally just walking around MapleFest the whole day and trying to like meet up with people and everything. But yeah, I'll get more into the MapleFest stuff after this. Okay, this is going up on YouTube. You're interrupting the roadmap review. Okay. Yeah, but I understand. We'll talk about that in a bit. Okay. Based on development competition schedule, we're planning to open character creation for Beast Tamer along with the 6 job skills in the first half of 2024. Oh, they're gonna have to wait quite a bit longer. Yeah, well, for the people who are wondering what the big announcement was, this was it. But sadly, they only announced at MapleFest that they were going to announce this later. And then in the roadmap, you have to wait Monday in the roadmap for the actual announcement. We're working diligently to show you the unique experience and fun of Beast Tamer. You enjoy it, okay. Once again, as for understanding patience that Beast Tamer 6 job advancement is taking place later than other jobs, we'll provide additional updates regarding this in January. I mean, 5th job and 6th job for Beast Tamer are basically only 1st and 2nd job, right? Because they don't have any other job advancements. What should be like May? Nah. I hope not. Another 5 months. Everyone else is already like maxing out their origin skill. Beast Tamer's still waiting for their skill. Feels bad, man. Oh, Puck Tucket says hi, YouTube. You better say hi back to him, okay? I'll be checking out those comments. Oh, look at the lighting difference between my two sides of my shirt. That's not good. This is like so light and this is so dark. Should get light here. No, that'd be good. Dude, I had to mess around with the lighting during the MapleFest stream. Okay. Exploration. Basically just the whole, 6 job or any summer or winter event also has a huge overlapping event. Identisk is going to be the first event once we get all the details and the patch notes for that. It's going to be one of the first events where you actually won't get that many coins and you don't have that many items to buy in the shop. But instead what's going to happen is you're going to get a whole lot of items like symbol selectors, all that stuff. Like everyone is going to get those regardless of whether you're like actively playing every single day and actively buying them from the shop with the coins that you got. As long as you just play the whole event, you're gonna get like a lot of those items. So so they're kind of like redistributing so you don't have like this thing where at the end of the event you'll have like 15,000 coins and you're like, okay, what do I need to get on what character, blah 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 blah. But it's more like, okay, I got all of this stuff already, I've been using it the whole time already, and I've got like another 2,000 coins where I can buy like a few things to min-max on some characters essentially. Now apparently in the update after that, in Korea, or after that update in Korea, they did say like, oh, a lot of people said that they still had quite a lot of coins and didn't know what to buy with them. So they're still going to add more things to the shop, they said, for the upcoming KMS update. But, we'll have to wait and see what that's going to be. Which should probably be somewhere in the next month. We'll be able to see what that's going to look like in Korea. But the main thing that we're going to look for in Korea is to see what other stuff is that they're going to do to build on 6 job already when we're only just getting the first taste of it. So remember, even if you do feel like a little bit like you feel a little disappointed with your 6 job, which can only happen if you're looking too much at other classes. It shouldn't happen because you just want to look at your own class and see how it's progressing. But you'll get a little bit of a taste soon of like what it's going to be like in another 6 months. Hyperburning a Burning World, you guys know what that is. 3 levels instead of 1. All the way up to 260 now, and then extra rewards at level 255 and extra rewards at level 260. So like a bunch of sacred symbols at 260. So wrong 6 shop on KMS. God, there's like 5 of them that they put in like double S tier. I believe Arc was one of them. I think Nightwalker. Not just 6 job, right? But like the class including 6 job, like after the first update. Kane, really? Oh, that 6 job must be pretty good then. This skill was so edgy with like the the eyes and everything. Better Maple improvements. So this is depends on context, depends on who you ask. Leveling up from 210 to 299 is faster than ever with the reduced EXP curve. Up to 300 as well. I don't know why they said 299. Leveling at 210 to 299 is faster, I guess. But like leveling to 300 is also going to be faster. Because past 270. So for the breakdown, it's basically experience up to 260 is cut in half required. And experience past 260... Is it past 260? Yeah, past 260 is cut by like 16%. 1/6 percentage. That's like the gist of it. The gist of it. But with that, a bunch of other stuff is happening as well. Earn more EXP with the completing daily quests. Also more symbols. Also more symbols in Grandis. Also more EXP from that. Starting level of some quests will be lowered. A lot of the areas are getting crunched down, right? So burning Cernium is going to get taken down to 260 just like regular Cernium. And then all the areas above that are going to get slammed down 5 levels until you have 1 every 5 levels again. So 260 will be like the first area in a long time that actually has... or the first level that has 2 areas unlocking, which makes more sense because like Cernium and Burning Cernium are basically the same area, just like a different version of the same area. It was always weird to me that that was a 5-level difference, but I guess they just wanted to slow down the Sacred Power gathering a little bit in the beginning. But I think it's good also for 260 to have 2 areas, because you're going to have a lot of people getting into 260, a lot of people trying to farm for their Urda, and they'll immediately, their Soul Urda, and they'll immediately have the opportunity to have like 2 whole continents basically available to them, in probably going to stay 40 channels as well, so that should hopefully take care of the congestion. Not this one, but the other one. So that they don't have to do what they had to do in Korea after a while, which was to create instance maps, make it so that people couldn't party, and keep people. So basically, if you entered a map and someone was already there, you get your own monsters. If there's already 2 people there, you just get nothing. If you enter a map and you gotta move around, yeah. Which, if they do, will be a huge decrease to non-reboot, because non-reboot will then not be able to use Frenzy Service. They will not be able to burn map, because map burn is not going to be a thing. With the Firestarter ring, right? There's some other stuff that non-reboot will actually take a huge hit if that happens. For GMS, that'll be very different for them. So we'll have to wait and see how that goes, or if they do it only for reboot or also for non-reboot. Yeah. Monster Park, 2 new stages will be added. Monster Park, Labyrinth of Suffering, and Limina. For a long time, I was always wondering, why are these areas always so late to come out after those areas? Like, how long has Limina already existed in the game? Until I realized that these areas are not there to help people progress faster for the areas where people can get to, but they are there to help people who are not there yet, or not at the late game or end game yet, to get to that faster, to get like a little bit of daily catch up EXP that's at least like themed after content in the game. So that's why those are always so late. You know, it's like, oh, we have Shangri-La, we're getting Carcion. It's like, oh, and also we're getting Labyrinth of Suffering Monster Park. Like, it felt so disconnected. But if you look at it through that other lens, like, it makes more sense. Intermediate will be rated for characters level 140 200. Advanced will be rated characters 200 plus. So intermediate basically meaning absolutely new character, less than a day old. And advanced will mean your character is now more than 2 days old. This is kind of like when in your Legion, if you're level 140, you get an S rank. Like, you start with B, A, S, double S, triple S. There's going to be a quadruple S at some point. Stop giving everyone participation trophies like there's some kind of king, you know? Like, it's not an S rank. Just start with D and then go D, C, A, B, S. You know, like, S should be an exceptional thing, not the standard. But whatever. Got more EXP for clearing Monster Park Extreme. Tower of Oz changes. So the instead of Oz, now the Boz rings. So a lot of the cool items from Oz, all of the good items, all the crazy rings are all gone there. And the extra ring that Korea added, the continuous damage ring, which you have to, I believe, wear for 2 minutes, 2 or 3 minutes before it's charged. And then every 12 seconds, if it's at the highest level, every 12 seconds, it'll give you, I believe, 120% boss damage for 8 seconds. So if you are currently like high, if you are DPM class like my DA, and you're currently high on boss damage like I am, you might want to consider, if there's a cube sale or something, which might be around end of November, to re-roll that stuff and get a lot of attack percentage instead, because that's going to help you in your scaling quite a bit. So consider that. And then loot ownership. Drop loot will maintain character ownership even after a certain amount of time has passed. Only the person who defeated the monster can collect the items in Mesos. I think we already had some stuff like that change. This is, of course, to make it so that if you don't have any loot, because you didn't do 5% of the boss, and they don't drop the items, that you can't, like... you can't loot their shit. But it also has to do with the Soul Urda and everything. They did the same thing with symbols and droplets, that they kind of shifted around as well, loot ownership for those items, depending on, you know, if they wanted other people to make any kind of progress that way. Maybe it's just to preemptively avoid some kind of loophole that, you know, they didn't really plan for. That's what it looks like. So this whole shift is... because this looks great. right? Oh, less EXP for everything. More EXP for dailies. Like, this is insane. And then here comes and just like before, and then comes the context. Oh, by the way, small reboot adjustment. Health and EXP of monsters in the hunting maps in reboot will be adjusted to match that of the monsters in non-reboot. So, you know, small extra adjustment here. Basically what this means is that right now the monsters in reboot, like the ones that matter, have about 40% more HP than the monsters in non-reboot. So ours have like 140% versus GMS's 100%. But if you take GMS's non-reboot's EXP as 100%, then reboots give like I think around 247%. It depends a little bit on which monsters you take at which level. But if you take like past 260 and stuff, it's almost 2.5 times as much. So what it does mean is that you're not going to need as much damage training mules. You're not going to need as much damage just grinding to higher levels. Classes that have particle effects that fly around the map to kill things are going to be able to keep killing for longer and are going to start killing at higher levels faster, right? There are a whole bunch of like positive interactions with that because the monsters are just not going to be so insanely strong. You're not going to need like really, really strong gear or a lot of damage on your drop rate gear and your meso gear because we are going to want to wear drop and meso gear, right? Because we're going to want to soul Urda when we're grinding. But that isn't going to also mean that you need to get a whole bunch of extra damage to be able to combine getting the drop rate and not losing kill speed, right? So in that sense, it is a good move. The problem, though, is this going together with the percentages is probably the best time for that to happen because we won't feel it as much. It'll mostly be a mental thing. We won't feel it as much. But really, the only people this really hits the most because of these changes is the group of people that are over level 270. That's why people were talking about legacy EXP, right? People are over level 270 and people who grind a lot. So mostly people over 285, essentially. Because if you grind a lot, but you're only just past 270, you don't really grind that much, you know. So really only people I think that will really feel this and the people who should actually be quite upset and unhappy with these changes are people 285 and up. Now, at the same time though, these people, even though I think they have the biggest right to complain and they are getting impacted by far the most, these people are also going to be way too busy trying to get Soul Urda to really worry about the EXP that they're getting. So all in all, it's probably the least damage they could do with a shift that's probably decent. The main problem is just that too many people... it's twofold. One, it's probably just a very thinly, poorly veiled nerf that they want to get through reboot because in Korea they still can't let people enter reboot because there's just too many people there. And I think they're just making not enough money off of reboot players versus non-reboot players, so they want to keep everyone in non-reboot. So it's really just a sad attempt to make sure that reboot doesn't seem as good by comparison. But the other thing is, you have to remember, when it comes to game balance, it's not like a next on chill thing, but this is like any game dev problem. The hugest problem is how quickly do you want a player to be able to progress through your game? What kind of content do you want them to be quote-unquote stuck on? What kind of content do you want them to play? How long do you want them to stay in certain stages? Because if you let people progress, a lot of people, if you listen to players, it would be like, oh, I want to log in and I want to get like full 22-star arcane because I'll be super strong. If you give everyone that, if you just let people have that, a lot of people will get bored with the game like within a week and then they'll just quit again. Like giving people too much too quickly just doesn't really help. Now letting people suffer for too long to get something also doesn't help because then people get demotivated and they quit again, right? So it's a constant balancing act on like where's the happy medium. Everything in this game, though, the thing that MapleStory always does, everything in this game is just very heavily catered toward, we want to make sure that there is a clear bump in the road. Like, hey, past this point, stuff starts getting real, right? And what they want is they want everyone who gets to that bump to get there as fast as possible. Things like Hyperburn, things like EXP cut, all of that. And they also want everyone who's already past that bump to make sure that they are so far beyond the bump that they don't really care that that bump is moving closer to them because they've got other stuff worrying about. And that is what I think MapleStory does very well. Well is like a loaded word, like a moral word. I think they do that successfully. Let me just say that, right? Because well would imply that I'm like happy with all the decisions or that I think it's a good thing or something like that. But if you look at player numbers over time, you look at the amount of people that are in Korea and in the global playing MapleStory, it's a huge amount of people, and it's among the most ever, if not the most ever. So it is working, right? But it's never going to feel like a good thing in the moment. I will just say that I've been with this game for so long now, and whenever you have changes of this magnitude, there's always a huge group of people that's always like, oh my god, this is horrible, like, game's ending, I'm gonna quit, blah blah blah. And what I just noticed that always happens, like, it ends up always working out for the best. Because a lot of time you're just like comparing that effect to exactly what we have now, which on paper is negative, and if that's just your reference frame, then it's a logical conclusion. But it's just like with totems being removed, right? And it's not just that, like, we kind of just made do because, you know, we don't have totems anymore and we kind of just have to deal with it. But the main thing is, oh, totems were gone. Now we get this rate. Totem gone. I'm going to get like 40% of the rates. That would be true if you would stay in the same maps. But what did we do? We went to different maps. We got a bunch of new areas. We got more damage. We got higher XP there. Like, a bunch of other stuff filled it to the point now where if you look at like the highest level people, of course just reboot, right? Not non-reboot now because you guys have some crazy totem shit going on. Is a lot of people are getting percented per hour still about the rates that they would have gotten if totems did exist. So in hindsight, you could have said, like, well, that's just because they saw where the game was moving, and they're making that alteration because they knew that 6 months down the line, a year down the line, people would arrive there anyway. And if you keep both of those modifiers on at the same time, it just gets too much, right? So all of that just to say that it's not impacting as many people as you think. The people it's impacting, I think, will be doing other things. And I'm sure that in 6 months to a year from now, we'll still be like growing at the pace that we're used to now. This is just kind of like a mild reset. But we're going to be busy for 6 months to a year anyway, building up our sixth job. Probably, honestly, I think we're going to be working on our sixth job probably for about 3 years at least until that's like done. Just because it's just started and it's still building out. So this illusion of like, this is going to be like killing reboot or something, I think is wildly overblown. But I guess time will tell. We'll see. We'll see in like 2 or 3 years from now how horribly wrong I was. Like with the announcement. But yeah, I already knew that some people would like run with it like something crazy, and then if it's not that crazy, then suddenly I'm the weird one. But you know, that's another topic. So yes, all that stuff. Oh, one last thing I did want to say though is the adjustment. Oh, I forgot a space here. Who was that? Who typoed that? Alatai. You've got a space, bro. The very first thing I said as a response to this, which still 100% stands, is that this is also just a lazy change. I understand that servers are different, regions are different, reboot versus non-reboot is different. But to say this has gone faster than we intended, that's possible. This is going to, you know, grow out of control in the future, probably. That's very possible. But then to say, so we're going to adjust it exactly to this other region or to this other server, whatever that may be, and then with no explanation, no mathematics behind it, no, just like, so we're just going to change it to that. That's then super lazy and like feels completely unfounded because that's like a leap in logic that you have to answer for that. You have to explain that. You could just say like, oh, we have A here and B there. B's a little bit too big, so we're going to go with A. It's like, well, there's the whole other alphabet. You have a whole bunch of letters, right? You have to... I feel like that has to be explained what that number is. Because you can equalize one factor, but that doesn't equalize things if you still have a bunch of other factors that are not equal, right? It doesn't make any sense. They give you, well, I can give like a million examples, but if you don't get it at this point, you're never going to get it. It's like, this car's too fast, or you have two different products. Changing one aspect of it doesn't necessarily make sense unless you qualify that, Abyssal Expedition, get ready for the new event where the mercenaries, you earn mercenaries to equip and use. Customize your mercs with their own skill and equipment, and then set them loose in event dungeons. The mercs handle all the monsters, and you earn the EXP. Seems like some auto battler stuff. Have we seen this before? Abyssal Expedition? Is this some non-KMS stuff? This seems like some TMS stuff or something. Oh, it is a TMS event. Does anyone have a link for that? Like a video or something? I'd like to see that. Because when I read this does not read like KMS stuff. It's auto battle Legion block event. Gotcha. Oh, okay, so something to replace like chapter 2 of lab. Yeah, it looks like AFK. Like you just burn some points, set it up, generate points, come back to it later, upgrade some stuff. That's what it looks like. I think Steve did a video. There's 35 attack, magic attack. Oh, like R2. I just hope that it's one that you can still get if you've already gotten the first two.
Hey guys, I guess.
Like I want it to be an upgrade, not to not just a replacement. Not a way for other people to catch my legacy damage, bro. I need to stay ahead of everyone. So I'm just trying to read people's minds and say what they want me to say, you know. Make sure that the projection is real. Battleship Arteria. Brand new area opens up for characters level 280 and above. Join Cygnus, Nineheart, and the Cygnus Knights as they struggle. Oh, the ladies. Cygnus and Nineheart. Let's go. Oh, dude, I almost said a bad thing because the letters. Okay. So I'm going to defend a rev from a high flora invasion. Feed the impressive battleship Arteria. Also called the Dark Aster. If you see the lore, you see the video, you'll understand. Guardians of the Galaxy Part 1. And then we have Carcion, which is going to be level 285 and up. Which that's just going to take forever to get to. But with the changes, it's going to be faster for me than than now. So for more casual players, it's going to be faster leveling. But if you're really grinding, it's going to be slower. Complete the Battleship Arteria quests, of course, pre-quests, extra symbol. Cradle of Life from Darmur's Apostle, who seeks the power of the ancient god Kira. Kyra? Kira? Kira, would you... That's how you would write Kira, right? Kira. Would they have an A, another A? No, I think that's how you write it. Part 247, they're coming with New Age. Honestly, I think we're going to have enough stuff to be worrying about, enough stuff to be playing at, and it's fine, I think, for this stuff to come a little bit later. Sorry, smooge. You're smoging? You can get it, but you can only slot in 2 legacy blocks. Oh, so I'll have to take out a 200 for 250. It'll still be a small upgrade. Actually, the other one's only 50. The only one's only 20, so it'll still be 15 weapon, magic attack upgrade, and a block, I guess. Yeah. Okay, that's still good enough. Unless they take the same spot, then and we can have 2 of the same ones. That's possible. Kaling, Kalos, the Guardian, boss, difficulty, easy, hard, normal, and extreme modes. Existing Kalos mode, chaos is going to become normal mode. They're not going to change anything on the number end. It's just they're just going to call it normal. And so the new chaos mode is going to be harder than that. And there's going to be an extreme one beyond that. Remember though that for all of this stuff coming, the progression grid is going to stay. But the numbers will have changed a lot if you looked at it before. The other thing is that the dailies command is going to have to adjust accordingly, and we're of course going to be doing that once we get closer in terms of the updates and everything. But for people who are familiar with this being probably already slightly outdated, but with the changes to 6 job and the leveling and all of that stuff. So if you were level 225, you'd be squarely in the mid game. If you're like getting close to level 270, you're going in a transition from late to end game. The new one is probably gonna be more like this. So if you ain't at least 260, you just in the tutorial essentially. This might even shift a little bit more as more regions come out, but like we said, it's kind of hard to tell at this point how fast the leveling speed is, or how fast the leveling is going to be, or what the leveling speed is going to be in Reboot, in GMS after these changes. Because, yeah, a lot of people will be here immediately and will still be like considered in late game. Remember, for new people past 260, the leveling is going to be slower if you're trying to grind it out. But if you play enough, eventually you will get there. And then accordingly, like the Sacred Power is kind of hard to tell, like, you know, with events and everything coming up, how quickly are people going to get into the new areas? How quickly are going to be getting Sacred Power versus, you know, like a character that's been played for 365 days in 1 year makes a certain amount of progress. A character has been played for 365 days, but over 3 years. They've both been quote-unquote played the same amount, but they can have various different things, right? So it's still pretty tricky. So this is like more like a projection for me at this point. But I feel pretty good with this. We did some testing and we looked at some numbers and everything, and I think it's relatively accurate. But of course, you know, things might shift. Try to include like Eternal Gear in here as well, which will become a lot more easily attainable because of these boss changes, right? Because the easy bosses will actually have, it'll only be half the quality of the current items, but they will start dropping the items immediately that you can start saving up for Eternal Gear. You know, so imagine like normal Lotus and Damien just dropping the coins on the normal mode, rather than having to do hard to get the box, or rather to do normal a whole bunch more times and dailies to smash them together to make the coins, right? That's kind of what this includes. So most likely for me, even though it's something like Kaling, nice, Kaling and Kalos, I wouldn't be doing as, are we gonna call it Kaling? Nice. As early, probably with these easy modes, I might actually be looking towards like trying to maybe solo. I don't know, it'll be tricky. Probably not, but maybe like duo or trio, like in a small party to do them, so that they can be okay income, but also so that you can actually start building up towards Eternal faster. Call it Kalos, yeah, the first part here and the last part here, yeah. Or call it Kaling, the first part. Okay, never mind. Should we call it Cal? Cal 2? Cal squared. And ring boxes as well. Yeah, so the boss rings, I guess I didn't really specify that, but like the reason I call them boss rings instead of Oz rings is because the boxes will be dropping from bosses directly. And this will also give your bossing mules, who are decently strong, a good chance of rings like weapon jump rings and I say good, like weapon jump rings and roars. Not as much as if you were, you know, just in the same way as people who were capping all the time and who were just grinding a lot and were like 285 or higher. For those people, this EXP is gonna feel like a big cut. Also, people who were like maxing out Oz all the time, to those people who are trying to chase the rings, to those people, the boss ring change is also going to be a cut, but only for one character and only if you were like maxing out. If you weren't really doing any Oz, this is a huge improvement, especially if you're playing multiple characters and bossing wheels. That is going to be a massive improvement. You're going to say more things, but it's kind of like, I don't know, it's kind of like going from having 5 characters that could, or one character that could do 5 bosses for a chance of a pitch boss. Now with these changes, that one character can only do 3 bosses, but now all of your characters get like drops as if they're doing three pitch bosses, you know? So like if you're really focused on one character's progression, it's not an improvement, but your whole account will feel like it's improving more because you'll just see more hits, essentially. Which you could argue that's a little bit deceptive, right? It's a little bit them trying to just give you some dopamine hits on different things so you feel like you're being successful, but maybe in general you're actually progressing a bit slower, so it's kind of like a carrot on a stick to distract you, right? Depending on where you're at the game, you could interpret it as one or the other. The reflective rings for Princess No are going to be the most important, yeah. First we need the foundation for the Pinot prequest to actually be shareable. And now that is a thing, now we just need to get reflect rings from these boxes, and then we can just blow them all up. Yeah. What about only getting 3 bosses for pitched? I was drawing a similarity, an analogy. Okay. All right. Before you go into that, let's check out the Steve stuff here. Steve, you want to DMCA me, right? We homies. We homies.
It is Arne back with another video, and today,
I always think he says Anhur, which is like the Egyptian god of, I don't know. It's like a lion, dude.
but the Abyssal Expedition, everybody. This is the video trailer.
Oh wait, I do remember
it has
this.
been
I remember seeing
here
this.
since the first season.
These monsters all reminded me of the Illuna thing. It's got kind of a similar vibe.
Which is this one. Everything is
Do
still
you
the
said Solar
same.
Lucid?
You basically partner
Yeah,
up, right? They,
some can, yeah.
battle for you.
Stat isn't the
You will
only
get equips,
indicator.
You will get skills, basically level up. It's basically an auto battle system. Get EXP and get rewards. Now, previously, the rewards are kind of okay, but right now in season 3, this is the insane part.
Wait, is this season 3 already? Wow, I just got possibly the first one that we ever had.
Oh my god, let me show you guys, everybody. The season 3 of the
Everybody, there's a lot of potions, I think, right? A lot of level up potions.
Expedition, everybody. I'm gonna pause this. I'm gonna go here. So this is basically in TMS.
Jesus, girl, put your sweater on.
So they are gonna run this event for approximately 1 entire month over. This is the Abyssal Expedition season 3.
Wait, okay, totally on the side. Is like a thing in? I thought most cultures, like, you're not supposed to like have your shoulders bare, but it's fine. But your elbows like faux pas, like nobody can see your elbows. Is that the thing?
And
enlighten me.
time,
I'm culturally.
oh my God, let me show you guys. The map is
No.
absolutely.
Wait, isn't this the exact same thing like the Punch King thing? Isn't that like the effect? Doesn't it look a lot like that?
Beautiful. You guys are hearing the BGM over here. This is the BGM, and you can see that most
Sounds
of the
good.
stuff are more or less the same.
What season are we getting? That's a
To,
good question. Yeah, we don't
There are
know.
about 25 characters for you to choose from, and then
Jeez,
you
25,
will be
okay.
able to choose only 5. Yeah, out of the 25, you get your skills, you get your equips, then you go into the auto battle, like all this over here. And now they added a new boss. So the new boss is basically Manon. Let me show you guys. This is basically
Oh yeah, the pokey,
the
spiky Manon.
level up over here, where you need to get a certain level and everything, and rank up over here. So, and the rank up over here will basically unlock at a specific date.
Over where?
And you need to get up to 220, let's just call it levels over here. Then
Okay.
you'll be able to get a Union or Legion piece, everybody. Now, let me show you guys over here. Alright, so, this is basically when you level up, you will get, this is the boss,
Yeah, see the spiky man. Okay, now I remember.
So this
Okay.
boss is the new boss over here. Every 4 hours, you'll be able
Yeah,
to
so I
go
don't know
to
if we'll get this. This is the
over
3rd
here,
chapter,
and
and
every day you can go up to
we
2
could get
times,
chapter
right?
1, chapter 2,
So,
or chapter 3.
this is the boss. It's really interesting though. I mean, they put everything like leaf-free type of boss over here. Because
Yeah. Oh yeah, and they showed the expedition. Wait, this one was. Wait, there was like another type of content, wasn't there? When it's like not. No, KMS had something where they used this Manon too, like recently. Because I remember seeing it on Orangemushroom when they're like going through the. Is it this? Is it in Mirror on a picnic? Yeah, see? Look at that motherfucker look familiar. Look at him. Hey, yo, reused reused assets, baby. But I remember the wings looked weird. Oh, this is just a different frame of the animation. Where here his wings are up. But okay, this is just me. Okay, and I'm like super artistic about this, so don't worry about that. But his wings aren't like on his back. He has like 2 wings just randomly attached, like the side of his tail, and them flapping. I guess he has 2 wings on his face as well, but they're like behind this rock. And those little wings flapping on his tail are what keeping up in the air. First of all, that doesn't make any sense, like ergonomically, to like the design of the dragon. Second of all, if he's magical and that's keeping up in the air, then why the hell does he have the wings? Right? It's just like humans having pinky toes that we don't really need for anything, but they're just kind of still attached to our bodies. Is that what's going on? I don't know. But on that segue, yes, okay. Because I needed to know that I saw him somewhere else as well. But I guess he got a little bit of a suntan. He's a little bit brownish here, and then used here. Because here there's like a little expedition with like 4 maps and like mini bosses, right? Yeah. So if I had to guess, since this is like 6 months away for us, maybe we won't get this chapter quite yet with this dragon. Maybe we get like the chapter 1 or 2. That's a bit more. Oh, sorry, I hit the microphone. That's a bit more bare bones. But let's finish this video.
I'm over here. That's it. Then you will be able to, and also for this, the rank up, the 3rd rank over here, 220 levels and above, which is the one that I showed just now. Where's the leveling thing away? Yeah, there we go. So it's 200.
Why do bumblebees have wings? To fly, bro. Why do penguins have wings? To swim.
Level over here, Master 3, right? So you need to be 220 and Master 3 over here, okay? So that's basically it. And you will be able to get this mount over here. It's permanent, and also you get a Union or Legion piece over here, which basically adds 30 weapon attack and 30 magic attack. And here comes the best part. It stacks with your lab Legion piece
over here.
Long time no see. How are you, Dara?
Voice is still a little bit shot, but it's improving. I think by tomorrow or day after it should be back, as long as I don't strain it too much today. If I feel anything, I'll just get more quiet or talk less. So I'm keeping an eye on it. He's gonna say over here.
Over here. Damn.
I love Steve so much.
Crazy. What is this? Why we don't get this? What is this? Oh my god. You get a free piece over here. I don't know whether the future seasons will get this or not, but hey, this is like absolutely amazing. So that is basically for the.
So there's a good chance that we don't get that quite yet. So we'll have to.
Season 3 rewards over there. A lot of stuff. And also,
we want to see those full patch notes. So this is part of 247. So this is going to be mid-December that we will get more details on this.
One more thing over here. Jajan.
Vestigial wings.
Cube revamp, everybody. Oh, I don't know why it doesn't load, but anyways, that is a cube revamp that is in TMS. So TMS is gonna get their cube revamp.
Well, they finally got different name cubes as well. Look, if you think our cubes looked weird and were confusing in the beginning, try realizing that this and this are 2 different cubes, bro. If you've ever thought any cubes in GMS looked similar, look at these 2 things. There's like one little extra minor gold line in the corner of these things. Bro, these things look so fucking similar, bro. Holy shit. Look how... There's... You have all the designs in the world that you could pick from. It's like, let's just do
that's the cube revamp
slightly greener.
They're only revamping
little bit of gold lines in the corner.
At this point of time, as you can see. Right? Not
Can
sure
we see
what is the direction for this. They want to standardize the cube percentage or something. I don't know, because TMS did release their cube percentage over here.
TMS has cube percentages. Why do we still not have it, bro? I still don't understand what people in GMS are just okay with spending money on cubes with an unknown tier up rate, with an unknown chance to roll certain pots, to get an unknown percentage increase of drop rate on items where you're not exactly 100% sure the drop rate is actually affecting it. But you guys are swiping a chance of this happening. I just can't get it. Like, at least in non-reboot, you're just playing with your time, and it's just with mezzo and stuff. But if you were swiping a credit card for that, like, I just don't get why you're not fighting for that.
Everybody.
Non-reboot people
so
rise up.
The percentage over here that is being
and the fact that that's legal with access in EU, that blows my mind. But I guess that's why in Belgium you can't get those cubes anymore, right? You can't buy them, and in the Netherlands you can, but then you can't trade with anyone. So it's all you, baby. So, but it's probably only a matter of fact before more EU countries do similar things, and then if there's enough power in EU and the whole EU starts doing it. I don't know. Maybe we go full USB-C port on the mobile, on the Apple and everything. You guys are welcome for that one, by the way. Okay, the amount of ease of like borrowing someone's charger and the amount of not having like a drawer full of like 16,000 X chargers in there that are all like 16 million different connections. It's just, hopefully we're just going in that direction, but you know, you guys are not making that splash. We're trying over here, okay? All of these tiny countries banded together.
So yeah, this is on the TMS one. Links in the video description if you want to basically have a look at it. This is a TMS tier up percentage. KMS just got their rates increased.
Okay, so that's that part. Okay, so yeah, we're not 100% sure which season we're gonna get and what that's exactly gonna look like. But it looks like, I always like it when it's like cool, different content like that. Which brings me to one really big thing that I am still, well, no, not surprised about. I'm shocked, but not that shocked. We were told that by the end of this year we would see Maple Worlds release, or at least make some splash, and we haven't seen any of that. The reason I'm mentioning that is for the people who don't know that Maple Worlds is essentially like Roblox for MapleStory, and for people who have no idea what that is like, it means that you're over the age of 14. Roblox essentially just has like this giant pack of IP, of like, what's the word I'm looking for, of assets, and then you can use that and make your own games with it, right? And the thing is that NFTs, that no, that's Maple N, with the N for Neo. That's another thing. Maple Worlds is supposed to be basically Roblox for MapleStory, where you get access to the assets, you can make mini games, you can make everything you want within that game with the assets that are available, and then if you and you can like sell items in that, you can, you know, make like your own upgrade thing, whatever you want to do, and you can basically if you sell things in those games, you get part of that money. So it would make people want to make cool, interesting video games. Apparently in KMS, people already just remade all of, like, or not all of it, but like a lot of MapleStory Classic that you could just play in there. But the cool part is, I don't know to which extent, but mini games like this, like the one we just saw, it is possible that some of those were like built on the idea of things, or like Misty Island, for example, that those things are kind of like stuff that we will see much, much more of, but then either in a separate game. But then if something works really well, or if there's kind of some kind of contest they do, they could also see like the best made Maple M content, Maple Universe content might actually then make it into the actual game, because it was such a successful, kind of like a mod, you know, like a mini game mod for the other game. So I just hope that it brings out a lot of cool stuff, a lot of creativity from people in the community and everything, or, you know, making things that we all wanted all along but we couldn't really get, like something similar to MapleStory Classic. I think that would be really cool, but we haven't really heard anything of the development of that. Yeah, I do see some things on Twitter every now and then for Maple N, but I wonder how much they're progressing with that, how much they've already invested in that. The whole thing around NFTs is just so stupid. Like, NFTs are fine, and NFTs can be great, but it seems like 98% of people who did anything with NFTs were just trying to pump and dump their own personal communities and just like rob them of their money. Which, you know, if you were ever even remotely trying to support someone who did something like that, I hope, you know, hopefully you learn from that those people were actually just douche nozzles and never deserved your attention for a single second. But, you know, you live and you learn, I guess. 9+10 funny month. Thank you for the 21 months, Ron. Appreciate the prime, bro. 2 1/3 of baby. Let's go. Let's see. What are we doing? Maple Mist is just more home stuff. I already ended giant tree. Oh, can we see? Let's see on a different, because I never know what pops up here on the autocomplete. Okay, these are all good. (2010) Oh god, maple mus. Maple nuss? No, maple mus. With the M for MapleStory. I'm too congested right now, it sounds like the same. Doesn't exist? What? Okay, fine, I'll just go through the actual updates and just scroll, I guess. Christmas update for last year. Christmas in Korea is around the same time, right? Raising a Rock Spirit. Was it when Savior came out? Is our Christmas part of this? Black Pink. Oh, Rudian Giant Tree. There it is. Alright, so Rudian Giant Tree. What do you say about it here? Since greeting ornaments, ornament mount. Don't forget to visit MapleStory shop. Okay. Let's see what. Oh. That is all about. This looks like. Oh. Dude, this song. Such a bop, dude. Oh, look at that. Christmas redo. Giant moon in the background. Big ass tree. Ah. Video quality also caught up with us. Not sand sculptures. Snow sculptures. Looking kind of cute. Looking kind of cute. Where else? Which other area? Leafer. Oh, look at that. Kind of similar sculptures. Funky. I like it. Oh, damn. I need to add that to my playlist. I forgot about this one. With a funky drop? Dude, I love it. And a Vanishing Journey? What does this one look like? Or sound like? Just put some sleigh bells in the back. It works. A giant fucking Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Did it chop off his head for that? Why is there like a Pepe on a Yeti who's like fucking crawling in a Christmas tube through the river, trying to get by? Someone had a lot of fun designing that. Okay, that is cute. This one though needs to go in the playlists. All right, on that though, let's read this last part. We hope you're excited by this high-level view of the content and events arriving to GMS version 245, 247, 2023. Guys, 2024 is around the corner. It's coming. Are you guys ready? Oh my god. As always, our goal with these roadmaps is to provide information for the players, maybe curious about unassisted players with advanced preparation. Please keep in mind that there is more content on the way in addition to those listed above. So we advise players to refer to the update preview posted in the patch notes for finalized details for the game update. Plans change due to unforeseen circumstances. We'll have a mid-update post to inform players of the changes to the proposed timeline. Thank you by Mjolnir, but written by Alatai. I don't know if this is like dictated or if that's the same name. I'm actually not sure. But I do remember Mjolnir as the name. Oakley Dokley. So, yeah, a little bit of new stuff that we haven't seen yet, but most of that is going to be 247 and beyond. Yeah, I don't know if people are going to see it as like a major like shell moment or something, but the better Maple improvements, I think in general, yeah, the amount of people are going to be negatively impacted by this is so much smaller than the amount of filthy casuals that play this game that only come back for like a month and a half every 6 months. And all of those people are going to have, in their experience, or through their eyes, a way better experience with the time that they're back. And ultimately, I think that's where most of their money comes from. And it is still a product at the end of the day. So, yeah, some will get sacrificed for the, the quote-unquote greater good. But it's going to be hard to tell or to feel like it's the greater good when you're the one getting sacrificed. So we'll see. We shall see. Yep. Nothing else crazy to go into. All of the stuff with like 6 Job and Sol Erda and all of that. We'll get way more details once all of that gets announced. That's still about a month away. A little bit less than a month away. So those are going to be massive, massive, massive patch notes that we're all going to be going through. So keep an eye out for that. There's also maintenance in 2 days on Thursday. A 7-hour maintenance. Which means that usually 7 hours usually means a minor patch, but they say maintenance instead of minor patch. I mean, it's got to be Windows update. It's got to be some server update thing. It's only NA though. I don't know what they're going to do, but F5? Nope. But it's going to be at these hours, so make sure you check that in your schedule as well. Don't be like, okay, I just got home, time to do all my dailies. Oh wait, game is down for 7 hours. Try to avoid that situation. So either just write off Maple for the day or do a little bit of the important stuff early so you don't get disappointed by that. Other than that, yeah. So stay tuned for even more details. And how can I zoom out so I have everything on one screen? Even more? There we go. Be like... There you go. There's your insert generic YouTuber thumbnail here. So yeah, this is a exclamation mark roadmap. If you want to read the whole thing, once this video goes up, I'll put that under command as well. You can check it out. So thanks for checking out the video. I'll see you on a new one, hopefully with a much cleaner voice. I'm already happy with how good it is now, honestly. You have no idea how bad it's been if you think this is bad. But yeah, thanks for checking it out. See you on the next one. Peace.